different kind of thing altogether.
Not sure. Time now is 12 minutes past 8. Sarah will have the weather for us in a few minutes.
Fracking, the controversial process of drilling into shale rock to extract gas, could get underway within weeks after the drill needed to start the process arrived at a site in Lancashire yesterday.
So protesters are trying to continue to delay the start of fracking. They're holding a carnival by the site later. Our reporter John Maguire is there. And John, you've been talking to lots of people gathering different sides of the argument, those for, those against.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier, Naga, weren't we, in the last hour, it's an incredibly divisive issue, this fracking. I described just before we came on air last time, all of these cars look as they're coming past on the contraflow. One car came along and beeped their support and waved at the protesters that are on top of the lorries, and they've been up there for 3 days so far. The very next car shouted some abuse at them, so that's what many of the local people think. Some of this campaign is very much spearheaded by local people, but over the last month another group has come in, reclaimed the power to bolster the campaign, if you like, and to intensify it, and it's really going to reach a peak over the next couple of days. Meanwhile, the work has been progressing at the site, which is around a quarter of a mile just further down the road there. This is the furthest the UK has gone yet, really, in exploiting shale gas, fracking it from the earth, thousands and thousands of feet below.
While the party and the protests continue outside the site, inside, behind the thin yellow line, preparations for the next major step in UK fracking are taking place. This is a big deal for all sides. Local campaigner Barbara Richardson has fought this fracking site, known as Preston New Road, every step of the way, and believes if shale gas is extracted here, then other sites will follow.
Imagine these every 2 to 4 to 5 miles across this beautiful rural, place known for agriculture and tourism. Just imagine what it's going to be like. And if you don't stop it now, you're opening the door, aren't you? So you've got to stop it now.
July has seen the local efforts here bolstered by protesters from the group Reclaim the Power. They've been trying to disrupt access, climbing on top of lorries, sitting in the road and locking themselves to vehicles. How do you justify this sort of...
So we're not targeting the lorry drivers. We understand that they need a job and they need to feed their children, and that takes some money. We're not purposely targeting them, but what they have on the back of their lorries is more equipment for them to get into the fracking site and create the fracking. So the more we delay it, the slower the task is going to be, the more it costs the company.
But despite their efforts, the drilling rig that will bore as deep as 3,500 metres beneath the Lancashire soil has just been brought in. Engineers will then drill horizontally, fracture the shale rock and release the gas.
And this site will be the most monitored gas exploration site ever, I would say. We are monitoring air quality, we're monitoring water quality, we're monitoring noise, we're monitoring traffic movements, all of that being monitored 24/7 and all of that being made publicly available. And of course we also have separately the Environment Agency. They've already visited us 6 times, and we only started constructing the site in January, doing their own monitoring and disclosure. So I could say to people that you don't need to take my word for it. The data will be out there to demonstrate that this is being done properly.
The process remains highly controversial, from the demand for shale gas to the technology of fracking to the way these demonstrations are policed. Environmental catastrophe or energy supply game changer? The answer is locked deep beneath our feet, but not for much longer.
Let me introduce you to some of the local residents who live just down the road there. Ray Mills, and we've got Valerie, I think?
Yeah.
Yes.
Diana.
Diana, good morning to you. They've only just arrived, so a little bit rushed this morning. You're living almost on top of all of this.
Yes, we live
What's it been like?
Well, we've lived here about 6 years now, all in peace. Lovely area, lovely little place to live. Now, what we didn't expect to have the biggest shale frack on our site, just spitting distance about where we live. We weren't expecting all this because all the contamination, everything what it's going to bring, and the people where we live, they're elderly people, they're retired people, and they'll have a lot of concerns if there is contamination, which there will be, because we've seen the films about it and everything. And personally, for my side, watching these people on here, they can't do anything about it. Thank goodness we've got these protesters to do things for us, because they're helping our need, really, because we really want that field up there.
So you're in support of the protesters and the campaign. We know, and we've heard from Cordrella, the company behind it, that they're saying there are lots of checks and balances, and the Environment Agency will be monitoring the site very carefully as well. What about living with some of the protests that have been taking place as well? What's that been like, Valerie?
The police causing the problems at the traffic lights, where I've got an elderly neighbour who's had a stroke and relies on carers to get her up in the morning, and even though they stopped at the top and told them were going to Car Bridge, they sent them down the diversion and wouldn't let them on. The policeman did come out to see us afterwards. But,
Refused
they refused.
Yeah, they refused.
So has it been disruptive?
Yes, I did. They wouldn't let carers suit my husband.
They're here now,
He's a sick man. And we moved here 2 years ago for the clean air and the fresh air for his health. And Quadrilla spoke to them. We moved here, and they assured me that whatever they're doing would not harm my husband's health. I have a letter to that effect. So moving here, all this fracking has not been a good thing for us, and I am against it.
All right.
I am with the...
Okay. Right. Thank you very much indeed. Sorry, Valerie, I'm really sorry. We have run out of time. We really appreciate your comments this morning. Thank you for coming to some of the very most local people have been thinking issues. So as we've hopefully reflected throughout the morning here, very, very different opinions on various sides, not only about the overall benefits or not of fracking, but also of the impact that it has on a local site like this. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks very much, John. John Maguire there.
Let's see, time now is 19 minutes past 8. You're watching Breakfast from BBC News. A reminder of our main stories this morning. The BBC understands cladding and insulation